Fleas, though small, possess incredible jumping abilities. The average length of a flea is about 1.5 to 3.3 millimeters, but they can jump distances of up to 33 cm and heights of 18 centimeters. Their powerful jumps are thanks to a special protein called resilin, which acts like a spring, storing energy and releasing it when they jump. For comparison, if humans had the same ability, they could leap the length of about 400 meters. Fleas use this ability not only to move, but also to escape predators and quickly jump between hosts they parasitize. Antarctica is a surprising desert because its climate is extremely dry, with annual precipitation in some areas amounting to less than 20 millimeters. The driest region is the McMurdo Dry Valleys, where rainfall or snow is nearly non-existent. This is due to the low humidity and the fact that cold air holds very little moisture. Antarctica is not only the coldest, but also one of the driest places on Earth. By comparison, the Sahara Desert, often seen as the quintessential desert, receives about 25 millimeters of rainfall annually. Jellyfish are fascinating marine creatures whose bodies are composed of around 95 to 98% water. Their gelatinous bodies have a very simple structure, lacking bones, a brain, or even a heart, but they survive thanks to a basic nervous system. This unique structure allows them to move with gentle muscle contractions and drift with ocean currents. Jellyfish have existed on Earth for over 500 million years, making them some of the oldest multicellular organisms. Their ability to regenerate and adapt to various environmental conditions has allowed them to survive in nearly every ocean on the planet. The number pi, representing the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, is one of the most important numbers in mathematics. It is an irrational number, which means its decimal expansion is infinite and non-repeating. So far, computers have calculated pi to trillions of decimal places. Interestingly, ancient Egyptians and Babylonians were able to estimate pi, although they didn't know it was infinite. The most famous approximation of pi is 3.14159, but even that is only a small fraction of its true value. Rome, known as the Eternal City, is one of the most important places in the history of Christianity. With over 900 churches, the city is the spiritual center of Catholicism, as well as home to sacred monuments of immense cultural and historical value. The most famous church is, of course, St. Peter's Basilica, located within Vatican City. Notable examples also include St. John Lateran, the Cathedral of the Bishop of Rome, and Santa Maria Maggiore, one of the largest churches dedicated to the Virgin Mary. Rome is a city where churches vary not only in age, from antiquity to modern times, but also in architectural style, ranging from classical to Baroque. Underground rivers are a fascinating geological phenomenon. One example is the Alatna River in Alaska, but similar subterranean river systems can be found in many parts of the world. These rivers are typically part of complex karst systems, where water filters through porous limestone rocks, creating caves and underground water channels. The Puerto Princesa River in the Philippines is one of the most famous examples, stretching over 8 kilometers and listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. These rivers play a crucial role in feeding surface ecosystems, and their flow can impact water levels in lakes or surface rivers. Whale milk is extremely rich in fat, containing about 35 to 50%, which makes it 10 times fattier than cow's milk, which contains around 3 to 4% fat. This thick, almost paste-like consistency allows young whales to gain weight quickly, up to 90 kilograms a day. Fat is a key component in helping young whales develop a protective layer of blubber, insulating them from the cold waters of the ocean. Whales, such as blue whales, are born in cold waters and need to grow rapidly to survive the harsh environmental conditions. Migratory birds have an incredible ability to navigate over long distances. They use the Earth's magnetic field as a natural map for orientation. Research suggests that some birds, like pigeons, have special magnetoreceptor cells in their brains, which allow them to see the magnetic field. Birds also use the position of stars and visual landmarks to aid their navigation. These abilities enable them to travel thousands of kilometers, with some species, such as the Arctic tern, covering distances equal to the circumference of the Earth during their annual migrations. Rats are highly intelligent and social animals, and studies have shown that they can experience emotions such as joy. When tickled, they emit ultrasonic chirps that resemble laughter. These sounds are too high-pitched for humans to hear, but can be recorded using special equipment. Research led by Jake Panksepp has demonstrated that rats experience joy during play and social interactions. This is one of many examples showing that emotions are widespread in the animal kingdom. Though deserts are often associated with dryness and a lack of water, there are significant water resources hidden beneath their surfaces. For example, the Namib Desert conceals saline lakes and underground water, which can become visible after heavy rains. These phenomena occur due to the natural accumulation of groundwater, which seeps through porous soils. In the Sahara Desert, there are fossil aquifers, ancient water reserves that formed thousands of years ago when the region's climate was much wetter. These resources are crucial for the survival of both people and animals in desert environments. Ants are some of the strongest creatures on Earth relative to their body size. They can lift 50 times their own weight, which would be like a human lifting a car. Their strength comes primarily from the highly developed muscles relative to their small body size. Ants use this strength to carry food, build nests, and protect their colonies from threats. Additionally, by working in groups, they can lift and move even larger objects. This is a great example of how evolution has equipped these insects with unique adaptations for survival. Human skin is an incredibly dynamic organ that constantly regenerates. This process takes about 27 to 30 days and involves replacing old skin cells with new ones produced in the deeper layers of the skin. New cells migrate to the outer layer, epidermis, while dead cells are shed. Over a lifetime, a person can shed approximately 20 kilograms of dead skin cells. This process is essential for maintaining the skin's health and its protective functions, as the skin serves as the first line of defense against infections, chemicals, and UV radiation. Kiwi birds, native to New Zealand, are unique in many ways. One of their most unusual features is the placement of their nostrils at the tip of their long, thin beaks. Most birds have nostrils at the base of the beak, but for kiwis, this adaptation allows them to detect scents in the soil. This enables them to locate worms, insects, and other small organisms underground. Kiwis also have highly developed senses of hearing and touch, which are vital because they are nocturnal birds that rely on senses other than sight. Fascinating examples of underground cities exist around the globe. One of the most famous is Derinkuyu in Turkey, an ancient city carved into rock that could house up to 20,000 people. The city had a multi-level structure with ventilation systems, food storage areas, temples, and even schools. Derinkuyu was used as a refuge from invaders and provided safety to its inhabitants for long periods. Other examples of underground cities include Montreal's Réseau in Canada, a network of underground shopping tunnels, and the Shanghai tunnels in the USA, once used for transporting goods. The record-breaking Zyona family from India is one of the most extraordinary examples of polygamy. Zyona, the leader of a local religious sect, had 39 wives, 94 children, and 33 grandchildren, making for over 180 family members living together. The family resides in a large complex in the hills of Mizoram, where they run a communal household. Their home is a 4-story building with over 100 rooms, where all family members work together to manage daily tasks. The Karaoke World Championships, KWC, is an annual event that first took place in Finland in 2003. Participants from all over the world come to compete for the title of Best Amateur Singer. The competition attracts both talented vocalists and enthusiasts who simply love to sing. Each country holds local competitions, and the winners represent their nations on the international stage. KWC is held in a friendly atmosphere where participants are judged not only on their vocal ability, but also on their stage presence. This event is a great example of how karaoke has become a global phenomenon, bringing people together through music and entertainment. The Stone Forest, Shilin, is located in China's Yunnan province and is one of the most extraordinary geological landscapes in the world. The rock formations that make up the stone forest were formed over millions of years due to erosion and the dissolution of limestone by rainwater and wind. Some of these formations reach heights of 30 meters, making them resemble giant stone trees. Shirlin is part of the UNESCO World Heritage List and is an important tourist and cultural site, also connected with local legends of the ethnic minority. Carnivorous plants, such as the Venus flytrap, Dionaea muscipula, and sundews, Drosera, have evolved a fascinating ability to capture and digest insects. They grow in soils poor in nutrients, particularly nitrogen, which force them to develop ways to obtain these nutrients from insects. The Venus flytrap closes its leaves when an insect touches its sensory hairs, while sundews produce a sticky substance that traps their prey. After capturing an insect, these plants release enzymes that digest its body, extracting the necessary nutrients. Though relatively rare, these plants showcase nature's incredible adaptability to harsh environmental conditions. Amphibians, such as salamanders and certain frog species, have the ability to breathe through their skin. Their skin must remain moist to facilitate gas exchange, oxygen is absorbed, and carbon dioxide is expelled directly through the skin. Some amphibians, like giant salamanders, rely entirely on skin respiration because they lack fully developed lungs. This adaptation allows them to survive in both aquatic and terrestrial environments, making them some of the most versatile vertebrates in terms of environmental adaptation. Granite is one of the oldest and hardest types of rock on Earth, formed billions of years ago. Most granite rocks originated from the slow cooling of magma deep beneath the Earth's surface. These granite deposits date back to the late Archean and Proterozoic eons, around 2.5 to 3 billion years ago, meaning they existed long before dinosaurs appeared, which was about 230 million years ago. Granite is highly resistant to erosion, which explains why many of these ancient formations have survived to this day. Butterflies, like many other insects, have taste receptors, chemoreceptors, on their feet, which allow them to taste the surface they land on. These receptors help them determine if a plant is suitable for laying eggs. For example, female butterflies check if the plant they land on will be a good food source for their larvae, caterpillars. This ability enables butterflies to select the best place to lay their eggs, ensuring their offspring have an adequate food supply. The dingo fence is the longest fence in the world, stretching over 5,600 kilometers. It was built in the late 19th and early 20th centuries to protect livestock, such as sheep, from attacks by wild dingoes. The fence spans 3 states, Queensland, New South Wales, and South Australia, creating a massive barrier. Interestingly, the dingo fence is longer than the Great Wall of China and runs through desert, arid terrain. The fence symbolizes the struggle of Australian farmers to protect their crops and animals in challenging, wild conditions. The mucus that snails produce is a substance with remarkable properties. It is both sticky, which allows the snail to cling to surfaces, and elastic, acting like a cushion that protects the snail's body, even on sharp surfaces. Snails can move across knife blades or thorns without injury because their mucus reduces friction and spreads the pressure. This substance is also hydrophilic, enabling snails to travel across dry surfaces while minimizing the risk of dehydration. Moose, despite their large size, are excellent swimmers. They can swim at speeds of up to 10 kilometers per hour and cover significant distances in the water, as far as 20 kilometers without resting. Their swimming ability allows them not only to escape predators, but also to forage for food such as aquatic plants. Moose can also dive several meters deep, submerging themselves to reach plants like pondweed or water lilies. Their bodies are perfectly adapted to swimming, their broad hooves act like paddles, and their efficient respiratory system helps them endure long submersions. Sunflowers, Helianthus annuus, exhibit a phenomenon known as heliotropism, which means young plants follow the movement of the sun from east to west. This movement is due to differences in growth rates on different sides of the stem. The shaded side grows faster, causing the flower to tilt toward the light. As the plant matures, this process stops, and the flowers remain facing east. This eastward orientation helps attract pollinating insects, as the east-facing side of the plant warms up more quickly in the morning, promoting insect activity. Elephants can generate and perceive infrasound, sound waves with frequencies below 20 Hz, which are too low for human ears to detect. These sounds can travel over several kilometers, allowing elephants to communicate across long distances. Infrasound is used to convey information about danger, migration, or the emotional state of the elephant. Moreover, elephants have incredibly sensitive feet that can detect these low-frequency vibrations through the ground. Some frog species, such as the wood frog, Rana sylvatica, can survive the winter by freezing entirely. Their bodies produce special substances, like glucose and urea, which act as natural antifreeze, protecting their cells from ice damage. Although the frog's heart stops beating and its bodily functions come to a halt when spring arrives and temperatures rise, the frog thaws and returns to normal activity. This unique adaptation allows them to survive in extreme climatic conditions.